All right, here we are. So welcome to the 99-second Story Slam, season number 7. I see many familiar faces. I can't welcome you all individually, but hopefully afterwards, as you know, we will have an opportunity to hear, I believe the number ultimately is going to be 19 stories today.
Oh, my
In
God.
round number 1, we will have 13 storytellers divided into 3 sections. And at the end of each section, all of you, other than me and Mary, my lovely co-host, so I did not formally introduce, but I think many of you know her.
You know me, y'all.
You will have an opportunity to vote for your 2 favorite stories. It will all make sense, and I'll remind you of how things work as we move along. There will be a little break, and we will have the second round with 6 storytellers, and ultimately, season 7, slam number 1, champion.
So amazing.
Now, as the evening progresses, ideally, you're hearing mostly storytellers tell stories and not Sean talking. That's always the goal. Sometimes I succeed in this, oftentimes I fail, but it is on my radar. If you are lucky, you will hear Mary talk more than me.
I can, but I don't think anybody could be talking more than you, Sean, and people want to hear from you.
I don't think that is true, and I think you're right about the fact that I will likely be talking too much. Noted.
No,
it was noted more than 2 years ago when we started. I haven't really embraced the message that everyone here has given me repeatedly. Now, if this is your very first time, I'm really glad you found us. I love this format. I love this competition. I know not everybody loves competitions, but this is a competition.
That it is.
At the end of the evening, we will have one winner. And depending on how you want to frame things or how politically correct you are, we will have 12 non-winners, or what do you want to use, Mary? What's the word that seems right for you?
Awesome participants.
Okay.
No.
That too.
Well, it's true.
Now, okay.
Competitors, there you go, Rita.
Our last slam was actually, I believe, in the summer. It was season 6 Grand Slam. It was a culmination. And I believe our winner of that is not able to. Is she here this evening? Oh, there she is. She's not telling, but she's here. Tracy Stanser.
Tracy.
Yes, you are correct, Nick. In my hand, I've got 13 slips of paper, and they all have a name on it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put all 13 into this hat.
A hat from.
It's not from Peru, nor is the one on my head.
No, I know.
This was from a store, a secondhand shop in North Carolina. I got it for $1. What?
Well,
what's the problem?
Fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think
now
so.
We all want to know about the story. We all want to know what happened to the Peruvian hat.
I'm not telling a story.
I know.
I'm just talking too much.
I thought we were,
Here we go. We'll have a chance to have these individual conversations, because afterwards we invite people to hang out and talk shop and talk about their lives and make announcements, particularly if they're related to storytelling things, because we always want to support you in what you're doing, just like you're supporting this group. Now, Mary, I'm going to give you the honors this evening, as I hope I always do. Well, you're going to simply say stop.
Oh, cool. All right. Stop.
Now, Mary didn't pay me. Nobody has paid me. For what it's worth, I haven't picked the first name out yet. You can Venmo me,
right?
And it might give you a little edge. I don't know. Let me know. Message me. It's at Sean Wellington. I accept donations, and there's always something, it's a symbiotic relationship we could have if you're game.
There you go.
Just kidding.
I know. We all know, Sean.
Nick Baskerville pointed out that I'm politically correct is not me. Do you think he's right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We all know you, Sean. Know and love you.
I'm going to pick the 4 names now. 5. The first section is 5. The next 2 sections will be 4. It should be a total of 13. And before I do that, I'm going to make absolutely sure that I have 13 names here. This does not make for great TV. I understand. 9, 10. Yes, I do. Now, put them in. I'm going to pick the first 5 so they know they're the first 5 and they know the order. And after I do that, I'll still babble for a couple more minutes to make sure our audience knows exactly what's going on. And then our first storyteller will jump in and tell their story. All right.
So exciting. Yes.
Now,
let's do it, Sean.
We will keep you. Yeah. Now, here we go.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me that cue, because sometimes.
Well, I'm helping you along.
I don't want to
People
think
want to tell their
anything.
stories.
There's
We want to
no
hear.
risky business here. Our first storyteller, you're not going to do it right now. It's going to be a couple minutes. Is going to be Scott. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Not great.
If I was like at the bar at 2 a.m., yeah, it's about right.
You got to get the distance right.
I have the distance, I have the blurry, and I didn't have a marker. I'm in Mexico right now. Shit's different down here. Scott?
New Mexico or Mexico?
Mexico. Jenice?
Oh.
Erica? Mark?
Mhm.
And our last storyteller of round one, section one is Michael. I'm saying the names just in case they're not clear. No funny business, I promise you. Those are our first 5 storytellers. And again, and this is for our audience as much as our tellers. Many of you have been here, so you know the drill. This has not changed. Each storyteller will tell their stories. The only thing that will disqualify them is if they go over the allotted time of 99 seconds. They don't get to know that right away, but they will know, and they know. You know if you went over.
No,
Now,
it's
for the
true.
audience, you're going to vote after each section on your favorite 2 stories. I will encourage you to vote for your favorite stories and not necessarily your favorite storytellers, though I know if your friends and family are here, you're going to be pissed at them if they don't vote for you. I understand.
I would
But
be.
the other thing I will ask for you to consider is that this is a storytelling competition, and we're supposed to be telling without notes. So if somebody's telling a poem, if somebody's belly dancing and not telling a story, if somebody's clearly reading from notes, I will ask that you reward those people who are playing by the rules. We're not going to disqualify them. The only thing that automatically disqualifies them is going over time. Now, it's possible also that if one of the tellers starts cursing violently at Mary, I'm going to say you're out.
Thank you.
But is that going to happen? It has never happened.
It won't.
It's so unlikely. At the end of section one, like the other sections, those tellers who have not gone over, and I'm sure none of you will, Mary will summarize. I will put a poll up, and then everybody other than me and Mary will vote. Mary, did I do a good job telling everyone how this works?
I believe that you covered everything, Sean, even though like we haven't been here for a while.
It's been several months. It's good to see you
It's
all
been-
back.
Yes, you're rusty and you got right back on that horse.
Even in Mexico. I could be doing this in Spanish. I
You could
chose
be.
not to.
Thank you.
I chose not to. The last thing I'll say before we bring Scott up to the 99-second story stage is at 80 seconds, and this is really more for the tellers, but if you see me do this, that's a sign to the storytellers that they should be finishing up within about 20 seconds. Now, it might also be repurposed, or it could also be a sign to anyone else here that you might consider Vincent van Gogh as your favorite artist, like he is mine. Now, I don't care what you do what you want to do, but I chose this and it was intentional.
Indeed.
Now, is it a coincidence that our first storyteller doesn't totally not resemble this guy? I don't think so. There is a little bit of a resemblance. So right now, I'm going to spotlight Scott Renz, who is in North Carolina. Scott, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and whenever you clearly start your story, I'll start the clock and break a leg, okay?
Okay. I was going to school at Southern Illinois University, and just south of there was a place called Giant City, so called because it had these giant rock formations. And you can go up this hill and stand over the cliff, and you feel like you could almost reach out and touch these rock formations. But I noticed there was this ledge 3 feet below the cliff. I figured, hey, I could drop onto there and pick my way down as a shortcut down to the rocks 50 feet below. So I dropped. Thing is, it's not a straight drop down. There's some forward momentum. And as I got to the ledge, I realized I had forward momentum and I'd go tumbling over the rocks. So I leaped onto the rock formation, but still had forward momentum there. And so leaped to the next, and leaped all the way down the columns. So I got to the bottom, and there were these people with their eyes wide open, mouth gaping. They must have thought I was a gymnast or something. No, I was just this idiot saving my life. Boom.
Thank you, Mr. Scott Renz in North Carolina, leading us off. Thank you, sir. Thank you also for unspotlighting yourself. We got him trained well here, Mary, in Massachusetts. Now, there's a couple things you might want to know. Why did Scott say boom at the end of his story? Well, there is a story behind that. I'll save you all that. It's what we typically do when you're done with your story. It's a clear signifier that, hey, I'm done. You don't have to. We'll get it. I will give you the benefit of the doubt, and I will not disqualify you, nor will Mary. If anyone's disqualified, it's not me, it's Mary. Let's just be very clear about that.
I wouldn't disqualify anyone.
Good cop, bad cop. I'm good cop.
You're good. Cop.
The other thing, which is probably clear and obvious for everyone being on Zoom for all this time since back in the day, is you can certainly communicate with one or more of us in the chat.
Yes.
And I don't have time to go into how, but it's on the bottom of your screen, and it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to keep this moving along
Let's
because we
do
have
it, Sean.
15 tellers and 19 stories this evening. Our next storyteller, let me find her and spotlight her. Ah, she's a doll. She's already unmuted, which makes me so happy. Please welcome to the stage, Ms. Jenice.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Okay, here I go. It's been 3 months since I had a job and I was desperate. So finally, I get this appointment for a job interview as an assistant for a manager, which I really didn't want, but I went anyway. On the day of the appointment, it was raining and everything possibly went wrong. It was Murphy's Law. I jump in my car, I have this big scarf on my head, and I get on 80. And at that time, my appointment was at 9 a.m. And here it is, 8:45, and it's neck to neck traffic. And I am trying to find a way to get to my appointment. So I must have cut this driver off, because the next thing I knew, there was this woman just yelling at my passenger side, all this profanity. It was a nice day, so the window was down. So I'm usually a nice person, but the bitch came out. And I mean, I reciprocated. I mean, I said things that I wouldn't even say to myself. I was using hand gestures that I didn't even know I had. So I finally got to my appointment, and I went in, and the interviewer says to me, well, the interviewer is not here. So I sat down, I took my scarf off. A few minutes later, the interviewer walks in. Yes, it was the lady that I had the road rage. And I sit there, she looks at me, she says, oh, I'm so sorry, but I had the worst day in my life. I'll be right with you. And she went in, and I looked at the receptionist and I said, I changed my mind. Thank you. Boom.
A delayed boom by Jenice Matias. You don't see that too often.
Hey, she's making her mark. That's
All
fine.
right, a lot of love given to our first storytellers. You can use the chat, and of course, afterwards, if you want to hang out and say how amazing everybody is with your voices, we welcome that as well. And of course, there will be other slams. I don't know exactly when, so if this is the kind of thing that you find intriguing or interesting, stay tuned. By the way, there are 40 people here. I am so pleased for that. Even if there were fewer, that's great, but 40, that's
Wonderful.
thank you for being here and supporting.
Yes.
Am I right, Mary?
It's awesome. It's really awesome.
Looks like we have 41. Let's hope we don't have any Zoom effing bombers, because that shit would make me crazy.
No,
Hope I didn't jinx anything here.
thanks, Sean.
Remind me, Mary, because I'm looking at Carolyn here. Remind me, I want to share with you and the audience here a little bit of what's been going on in Mexico. Because we've been doing a couple of really cool storytelling things, and I think it's something the audience might want to hear a little about.
I think everybody would, yes.
But not right now. Next up.
Fine.
So we had Scott in North Carolina, Jenice, I believe, in Jersey. Now I believe Erica is up now. We're going to ask her to unmute. She's in California. She is spotlighted, and when she is ready, we shall listen.
Okay. He's in his early 30s and has a slight build. He emanates a warm maturity. He introduces himself and his voice is gentle. I'm Dr. K. I'm here to help. I want to believe him. 3 weeks prior, I had been committed to UCLA psychiatric ward for being a danger to myself. And now I'm in a recovery home for people with mental illness. Dr. K begins to speak. Bipolar depression is a powerful force, but always remember you are more than your diagnosis. I want to believe him, but bipolar means I'm entirely defective. I'm like a spinning top that never stops, spitting poison in my wake. My life is a blur of mistakes, misinterpretations, missteps. I destroyed my entire life and I burst into tears. Dr. K hands me a box of tissues and with compassion, and there is what appears to be understanding in his eyes. He says, try to take a step away from what you believe to be true and question. Dr. K continues, it may be a lifelong challenge to remain. I interject, sane? He laughs, he gets it. I like that. He says I was going to say stay stable. He pauses thoughtfully and continues and says, Erica, I believe in you and I see the truth and I'm for the first time steadied.
Boom.
Boom.
Nice job, Erica. Thank you. Erica's in California, by the way. So we have at this point, a national thing going here, but I'm in Mexico. There's several people who live in Mexico who are here today, and they're upset with me, understandably, because I gave them the wrong link that might have affected some of you as well. But I think everyone who wanted to be here and is supposed to be here, I see April, she's here. Hi, April. They're here and they get to see this slam. They might have missed one or two. Okay. If you came a little bit late and you did not hear all the stories from section 1, I will ask that you do not vote. The only way to vote on our system here is if you've heard all the stories. Makes no sense. Doesn't work. We got 2 more for section 1.
Yes.
And we will launch the poll. Mary will summarize those stories that were not over time. Our next storyteller is not too far from you, Mary.
No, sure
Did
is.
you know that? You know, he's my neighbor.
Yeah, he's close.
His name is Mark. I think we can all agree he's got a very nice head of hair. And we're going to spotlight Mark. And when he's ready, he's going to start a story.
I've never been popular, but I'm like 9 or 10 when I learned what it is to be hated. There's a mill town in Wisconsin that my dad's cousins have owned for like 100 years. My grandmother was in this lumber baron family, and because she's a girl, she can't be in the company, but she can have a cabin on this lake a few miles outside of town. Her family owns everything for miles. Parenting in the 1970s is kind of loosey. I mean, the whole don't come back till dinner thing is real. One day, my cousin Phil and I, we decide we're looking for something to do. We decide to walk the few miles into town. And Phil is from the side of the family that got the business. So everyone in town knows him. And anyway, anyone coming up that road could only be coming from one place. We go to their store. We buy some comic books, a milkshake. We hang out. And after a while, we decide to head back. We walk by this ramshackle house, and these 3 kids come out. And without a word, they reach down and start throwing rocks at us. And my cousin Phil is like, just ignore them. I mean, he's used to this. Now, lucky for us, these kids have got arm, but they ain't got aim. The rocks are flying around over our heads off to each side, hitting the ground. And after a while, we're just beyond them. Boom.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. In the Commonwealth. And not too long ago, Mary, someone here, a storyteller, told me there are 4 Commonwealths in the United States. I didn't know that. Massachusetts is one. Maybe at some point today we'll do a little trivia and someone can Google it. There's no prize other than status and glory.
And glory, yeah.
Yeah. So we know Massachusetts is one. I think it's the most known of the Commonwealths, but it's not the only one.
It is not the only one.
Storyteller's doing a great job so far. It's always hard being in the first group, first section. So thank you for that. They didn't really have a choice, but I appreciate you.
Still, they're bringing their A game, all of them.
Always bringing the A game here.
Always.
2.5 years into it. Wow. Okay. Last storyteller of section 1. I believe he's in the West Coast.
Yeah.
And his name is Michael. We're going to find him. He's unmuted himself. We're going to spotlight him. And Michael, when you are ready, sir, break a leg.
All right. Morphine is great, A cheese Danish is a close second. My mom and I, for the last couple of years, have been playing this game. If I had a story to tell at the moth, my first line would be, about 5 weeks ago, my mom told me that line for her story for what's been going on with her for the last 6 weeks. We surprisingly discovered she had a golf ball sized brain tumor, a glioblastoma in her head. And we've been on a mad dash with finances, home care, taking care of the house, all sorts of things. Quite a project planner she is. There is this law in Washington state, though. It's called Death with Dignity. And it's a very well-written law that gives you the choice to do what you want with your life. On November 14th, my mom called me. We went through the whole process. On November 14th, Monday, she called me and said, I've decided the day I want to do it. It was the next day on November 15th. So went down there, we went through that whole day. What she didn't know was that on November 16th, I was in the Grand Slam in Seattle. She didn't want a celebration of life. She didn't want anything special, but I decided to go through with it anyway. And I went up on stage for Mom and I said, first line, morphine is great. A cheese Danish is a close second. Thank you. Boom.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Closing out section 1 of round 1. Michael, by the way, I don't hope this is public information. Also had a little trip to Mexico recently.
Yes, we are in Puerto Vallarta.
That's not part of a story, by the way, so don't include that when you're voting. I have got very good news for our storytellers and for Mary. And Mary, you know what that good news is, right?
I do.
That means all of our storytellers were either at or under the very important 99-second mark. So now Mary's going to do what she does so well, and a quick summary, and then I'm going to launch poll number 1.
All right. So Scott surprised a whole bunch of people with his idiot is saving his life by jumping down some rock formations and a ledge. Jenice had some road rage with, as she later found out, someone she might be interviewing with for a job that she didn't really want anyway. Erica, stable, secure, whatever it is. Erica was learning from Dr. K that things could be okay. Mark learned at the young age of 9 and 10 that people could just hate you for walking down the street with your cousin Phil. And they may have arms, but they didn't have aim. And Michael, morphine may be great, but cheese Danish is a close second.
Oh, now, Mary, I want to do one thing here. Sometimes I lean on you, right?
I know you do. It's okay.
So for Scott, I want to take 1 or 2 words. Look, they just heard the stories. You did a great job summarizing. Would you say the rocks is okay?
Rocks is okay, I think.
For Jenice, rage. Erica, stable. Mark, what are we going to do with Mark? So get 1 word for Mark. What do you want to choose? It's a hard one.
It is a hard one. It's another rocks one, right?
Can we just put cousin?
Cousin, sure. Cousin
and Michael, can we put mom?
Mom.
Okay. I'm going to save that, which means in just a moment, the audience really got a good sense of the inner workings and behind the scenes at the 99-second story slam. Now, in a moment, you're going to vote, but I want to give our next 4 storytellers, there's 4 this section, just a little bit of room. So I'm going to pick their names now, and then we'll vote. Just give them just a little extra time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have got, first up is Matt. Then we have Shari. Then we have Linda. And then our final story of round 1, section 2 is Walt. I hope you can see that. Trust me, there's reasons why. Okay, we don't want to get into all of that.
No.
Now what I'll do, so those 4 storytellers are up next. Thank you to all 43 humans who are here. I should be able to launch this. And again, it's Scott, Jenice, Erica, Mark, and Michael. And it very clearly says on the top, pick your top 2 stories. I don't care what you think is better. It's supposed to, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Pick your top 2. Here we go. Everyone vote if you can. That's 41 people.
Yep.
I'll give it about a minute. So everybody, even if they're in the bathroom, just.
Or if you need a second to think about it.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, you're picking your 2, deciding between one.
What? Hey,
right?
Whoa.
You have to look, it's a whole scientific thing.
Hey, ho.
Hey, whoa.
All right, we got about 15 more people. Don't be shy here, peeps.
Oh God, vote.
If by any chance you are not seeing the poll, don't get upset. You can briefly just unmute and let us know, or just message Mary directly, privately, your two winners.
Yep.
The two favorite stories, and use their names. That'll be easier. No problem.
Yes.
We have about 15 more seconds, 20 more seconds. There's still 7 or 8 people. It looks like we have 2 that are going to win this thing, but it could make a difference. So let's just stick it out for just a bit longer.
Yeah, we had that happen the last time. Someone
Yep.
messaged me and they knocked it over for somebody, I remember.
Exactly.
Yep. So
All right. I think at this point, those people who haven't voted are choosing not to, are occupied, which is probably in the bathroom, but that's TMI.
Right.
Or it's just an active stance of something. Like they're making a point, aren't they? No.
That's fine. Make your
I'm
point. But
I'm contrarian, and I don't necessarily always have to play by your rules. Right?
That's right. That's fine. We got our winners anyway. Fine. Don't participate. We got them. Be that way.
Now, the first section, people might be thinking, who won? Who's going through? No, you don't get to know that yet.
Not yet.
I'm sorry. We're going to drag this baby out. End of round 1. You're going to find it all out. All right. We got the 4 more names. They know who they are. Our first one is Matt. Matt lives in, I believe, New York, which I have a lot to say about, but not right now. And I'm going to find him. And then he's going to unmute himself. Matt, where did Matt go?
Yeah, I agree with everybody. They're saying strong, great stories in round 1, tough choices, first round tellers, really strong stories. That was from Rona and Corey. So
a lot of good people saying good things. Matt, we're going to stop talking now, believe it or not. And when you're ready, no rush, take your time, break a leg.
Hi, everybody. My freshman year of college, I got scurvy. For those of you thinking if I did a semester at sea in like the 1860s, the answer is no, they denied my application. I basically was just eating chicken fingers from the local diner every day, not a lot of vitamin C in those. And eventually I got all these weird symptoms and sores, and I went to my doctor. They ran some tests, and he came back into the room and he's like, have you ever eaten an orange? Have you ever mistakenly had a lemon in your water? He's like, yeah, you got scurvy. But just to rule stuff out, he made me go and get my blood drawn. And when I got my blood drawn, I fainted. And when the doctor came in, he's like, you just fainted. It's not a big deal. But anytime you go to a doctor from now on, be sure to tell them about what happened today, which I took to mean that I had to tell everybody that I had gotten scurvy and that I fainted. For 6 years, I told people that I had scurvy, until one day I fainted again, and the EMT looked over my chart and was like, you don't have to tell people that anymore. You never had to tell people that. And to get the procedure done, that the EMTs came when I fainted. I had gotten my blood drawn again. They made me go to my doctor again. And he's like, yeah, you never had to tell people you had scurvy, Matt. And that's when I decided to break up with my doctor. Thank you. Boom.
Thank you, Matt, in New York. We'll find out more about Matt, Mary, in a little bit.
Right.
You see, I'm always curious, especially as a New Yorker, where they live, but we'll find out about everybody soon enough. That's was true. Matt in New York. Next up is, I hope I got the order right, Shari, am I correct? North Carolina. She's been waiting patiently, as all the storytellers have. 44 people here. Thank you very much. Shari, would you please unmute yourself, and then I will spotlight you. And when you are ready, you can start.
I'm on a psych unit. I'm bipolar. I started mucking with my meds. That led to panic attacks, paranoia, and even worse, psychosis. So here I am. It's bedtime, and I've got a new roommate. Hey, how you doing? Nothing back. I go to turn off the lights. No, you cannot turn off the lights. What do you mean I can't turn off the lights? Nobody sleeps with the lights off. No, the lights need to stay on. I opened my mouth to say something snarky. And then I looked over and I could see her back where her hospital gown was open. And I saw burn marks and bruises and belt lashes. And I knew at that moment that she needs the lights on more than I needs the lights off. Boom, chicka boom. That is the name of a children's book.
That's not part of your story, what you just said. Let's just be clear about
We're
that.
done.
We're done. Just want to be clear that the boom chicka boom was the official end to Shari's story. And I do love how people are getting very creative with the boom boom. Some people wait, there's a delayed boom.
I know.
Some people like Shari had the boom chicka boom boom. And look, you can do whatever you want. We appreciate the creativity, do we not?
Oh, so much. That's great.
Love it.
Yes.
You know, Mary, when we have more time here, I'm really curious to see how you've been.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
I can tell you all about how I didn't lose my Peruvian hat because I didn't have one.
haters gonna hate is just what I'm hearing.
It's true.
All right, 4 storytellers in section 2 here. 2 of them have gone. As always, wonderful, seriously wonderful stories. Next up, live from the hills of Appalachia in West Virginia. We are all over the map. We're going to find Linda. And there she is. She's already unmuted. Thank you, Linda. When you are ready, young lady, break a leg.
She had 10,000. Yep, you heard it right. 10,000 shoes, recipes, wooden beams in her house, scarves, levers. 10,000 books lined her walls everywhere. Actually, they were on the floor, the beds, the kitchen counters. She even had them propping up the lounge chair that had lost a leg. Grandpa read her stories ever since she was born. Wordsworth, Longfellow, Poe, Emerson, books about repairing farm equipment, animal husbandry. By the time she was 3, she could read. And she did. She read everything. When I was 5, I asked her, Aunt Irene, why do you read so much? She said, that's where the universe is, and that's where you're free. She became the poet laureate for the state of West Virginia. She died in 2012. I admired her all my life. She inspired me. Yesterday, I counted the books in my house. I went around and looked. Every single book, pamphlet, brochure, everything that had words on it, 500. I got a long ways to go. I even have a book, Mother Earth News Handbook of Homemade Power, just in case the lights go out. Last fall, I volunteered to help disadvantaged children living in my Appalachian area at the library. My mission, read, children. The universe will set you free. Boom.
Boom it is. Thank you, Linda. Do I have an echo? Nobody likes the echo. It's really good. Mary, remind me here. I've got some new faces. There's a few new storytellers to the 99. I'm not telling the audience who they are. We don't play favorites here.
No. But
I'm not even trying to laugh at these stories because I don't want to influence. And I almost cried at some of them, but you're not going to see tears.
No.
Not because they're not there. I just don't want to do any. And I am asking that of you too. No undue influence. But there's several people in this audience who right now reside in Mexico. They're here. We're global. We got three countries here. We got Canada, United States, Mexico. We might have a 4th. I don't even know. Maybe Reba. I see Reba. Maybe she moved to Egypt or Israel. I don't know.
She could have.
Doubt it.
Could have. Yes.
We got her to chuckle a little bit. That's always nice. I mean, she's a lot, but I like to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, this is pretty spectacular. We have people from all over.
Yeah. Guess by the way, who isn't a stand-up comedian? I should just try to drop the jokes because they don't work.
Well, I mean, they do something. Work, I'm not sure is what it is.
Think I could have made it, Mary, if I wanted to go the stand-up comedy route?
I think you should stick with storytelling, Sean.
I think we're gonna just give it to Walt at this point. Walt,
I think we should.
Yeah. Walt's been patient, as he always is, a gentleman. Well, let me find you and spotlight you. There you are. And you're unmuted whenever you're ready, sir.
Oh.
Break it.
Okay. I grew up liking cowboys and westerns. I liked all the westerns. I like Roy Rogers and The Lone Ranger and Clint Eastwood and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I liked all those westerns. And more than anything else, I wanted to ride a horse. I thought horses were fantastic, except I lived in the city and there weren't any horses. I couldn't have one. And I asked my father, I said, where can we go? I'd like to ride a horse. I think I can do it. I can see myself on the back with the wind in my hair. I could be chasing the outlaws. I could be just like Roy riding Trigger or Lone Ranger riding Silver. And he said, boy, those horses have been trained. A real horse is dangerous. It can be emotional. You could get killed. You could get hurt. I said, I don't know. I still want to ride. And then I found out there was a place where we could go and pay to ride. And I begged my father to let me go. And I talked to him. He said, no. And finally, I got a little older and he said, yeah, you can go. We'll try. I mean, you bug me so much about it. And so I go and there's this beautiful horse. It's brown with a golden mane and a golden tail. Its name is Champ. And I get up in the saddle and Champ isn't moving. And all of a sudden he takes off and he's going like this. And my teeth are rattling my head. I forget what to say. Stop, Champ. Whoa. It stops all of a sudden, just stops. My father comes over to me and says, son, did you like it? You want to get down and come on home? No, Dad. I want to ride again. Put another quarter in. Boom.
That was Walt in Florida, unless he was moved to Egypt or Israel or other 200 some countries.
It's true. He could have. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, it is possible since the last time we had a slam that people moved a little bit.
That's
It
true.
Yeah, I mean, it might, and there might even be a trend for some people to leave the United States. Now I'm getting political here. You do what you want to do.
No, do what you
Fine.
want to do.
Some people love it. It's fine.
Some people leave for a lot of different reasons. You know,
Yeah.
they find love, they find work, all kinds of reasons. It's not just political.
Right. Love is always political, Mary. Come on, Jesus.
Mm.
I've got really good news here. No one went over. I could feel no one went over or everyone was under. Either way, we've got four summaries coming up right now by Mary Daba, aka the Queen. Mary, whenever you are ready.
Well, Matt found out that he didn't have to tell everybody he had scurvy. At least we know he's honest, but he did break up with his doctor after that. Shari, she knew that her roommate needed the lights to be on more than Shari needed to have the lights off. Linda is got a long way to go to get up to Aunt Irene's 10,000 books with words and all kinds of wonderful stuff. And Walt asked that we put another quarter in the machine to take another ride on Champ.
All right, cool. I've got the names. I've got my one word that I think summarizes your summary before the big moment, the poll, which I think is fun. I just think polls are just fun.
So fun.
I'm going to pick out our last four tellers of round one, which is section 3. And they are Victoria, aka Torrey. Yes. Andrew. Neshama. And finally, Gerald. He will round out round 1. Again, that's Torrey, Andrew, Neshama, and Gerald. Before Torrey takes the mic, though, I'm going to launch another poll. And just like last time, please select your favorite 2 stories when I can figure this out. And I may have made a little mistakey here.
Okay, step back, Sean. Hold on.
It's okay.
See. Lord.
Hang on. It's going to be fine. All right. Here's what I'm going to do because I did make a little mistake. Okay. No big deal. But just to be clear here, I appreciate everyone's patience. We have Matt, correct? With scurvy. This wasn't intended, folks. I appreciate your patience. Sometimes Zoom and polls and Sean's brain don't work so well.
Hmm.
Shari, and I'm putting the word lights.
Lights. Yeah, that's what I
There.
would use. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Linda, I'm putting the word books.
Books.
Now,
Yep.
our tellers might not love the word I'm choosing, but sorry. I mean,
We're doing what we can.
we're doing what we can do to please
Mm.
everybody, man. It's a hard gig.
It's a hard gig.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see if this works. And if it's not, if it doesn't, then I'm just going to get upset.
Do you have Walt's name down there?
I sure do.
Okay. Making sure, Walt, we're not leaving you behind, my friend. All right.
Round 1, section 2, Matt, Shari, Linda, and Walt. Here we go. Thank you for your patience.
Here goes the voting. Here goes the voting. People are voting.
That's really close. I hope everyone votes.
Yeah, please vote, guys. I know we say this every time, but seriously, it's because of the quality of the stories, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of good stories.
There's always a reason. And you know what,
Mhm.
Mary? Now is a good time for me to say, as much as I like the slams, I hate that everyone doesn't go through, and I want everyone to, and I do, because a
I
lot of
do
the
too.
stories, most of them are really good.
Tremendous.
And we know that not everyone's going to go through, even though they're very talented and they've brought great stories. We know that. It's just
Yep.
fact.
It's true. It's true. You can tell they're practiced, they're thought about.
Crafted it well, told it
It's-
well, prepared.
Yeah. And
But we appreciate them being here, and we appreciate those that don't go through. We're going to stick around and support and vote and do all that good stuff too.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I hope everybody votes though, because I think, can you see what I see?
I think that we're good.
Okay.
Yep. We are
All
good.
right.
There's a few people that haven't voted. It's their choice. And again, I appreciate people using the chat here to communicate with us and share their love or other thoughts, questions, perhaps concerns. I'm going to end this poll.
Okay.
And our final
We're
4
done.
storytellers are here, and then we will take a little break and we will announce who's going
Yes.
through. Did I get the right order? So I think Torrey is first.
Yes.
I'm gonna find Torrey. There she is. And
Yes,
she's going to
Torrey.
unmute.
Hey,
and I'm gonna
Torrey.
spotlight. Torrey, whenever you are ready, break a leg.
When I was 12 years old, I had the biggest crush on the UPS man. And it wasn't like one UPS man in particular. It was more like all UPS men collectively, every single one of them. For months, my mom would hear me every time I saw a UPS man. I was giggling like, "Oh, look, mommies, he's so cute." Like, they were just so fun to look at. UPS men, they rocked my world. So as a 12-year-old, I'm watching a Johnny Depp movie, and my mom's reading the newspaper, and she reads this article that UPS employees are going on strike. And there's going to be a demonstration. There's going to be a bunch of UPS employees on a picket line in downtown Boston. What that means is that there are going to be dozens and dozens and dozens of UPS men in the same place at the same time. And my mom turns to me and she says, "Do you want me to take you there?" Do I? Bless her heart, my mother drives me to the site of the UPS strike. And sure enough, we see dozens and dozens of UPS employees standing there by the fence, protesting for workers' rights. But the thing is, they're not on shift, right? They're on strike. And so they're not wearing the brown collared shirts, and they're not wearing those brown long pants. They're dressed in their ordinary clothes. And they don't look like UPS men. They look like a bunch of dudes. And I don't have a crush on any of them. And I'm standing there looking at all of these dudes standing by the fence. And it's in this moment I realize it's not actually UPS men that I love. It is all about the uniform. Boom.
Woo! All right, Torrey. Boom. That kind of boom, Mary. Sometimes you hear a boom with the emphasis,
Yes.
with a little attitude, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That was Torrey Shine, she's known as. Thank you, Torrey. Teller number 1 of section 3 of round 1. Woo! There's a lot of numbers floating around here.
There are.
3 more tellers. Let us introduce. Now, Torrey's in New York City now. She moved not too long ago.
Yes.
But we're going to go back up to your Commonwealth.
Yes, please.
to a Mr. Andrew Shelffo. Let me find Andrew. Andrew,
Yes.
this is your name. You know the drill, I believe. When we find you, we will spotlight you and you shall start. There you go. Break legs.
I need to get to the bank before it closes or my weekend is going to be ruined. But I also need to get to my part-time job. This is the 1980s. There's no such thing as direct deposit. There's no mobile banking apps. Sure, there's an ATM machine around the corner, but the basic flaw of the ATM is you need to have money in your account before you can take the money out. I have my paycheck in my hands. I need to go to the bank physically to cash it, but the car is stuck in the driveway on a patch of ice, the only patch of ice in the driveway. And it's March. Winter is supposed to be over, but the rear wheel of my father's 1969 Pontiac Firebird spins helplessly on this infernal patch of ice. I could try sand, but we don't have any. I could try kitty litter, but we don't have a cat. I could call somebody, but there's nobody around and the phone is all the way in the house. I tried putting the car in reverse and then drive. I've tried all the lower gears and the clock is ticking. I'm a good kid. I'm living at home while I go to college. I have a job that gives you some spending money. I learned in my philosophy class that the universe doesn't care about me, but why does it have to fuck with me so often? I have the car in drive and the wheels are spinning and I step out of the car and I give it a gentle push on the back and it starts to move. Hallelujah, it worked. And then I watch the car as it slowly crashes into the garage door. I finally make it to my job where I work as a delivery driver and I tell my boss what happened. And he says, why didn't you just come in earlier and use the car to go to the bank before your work? Boom.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew Shelffo. And yes, thank you, Mark, who I think did some Googling and found out that it is Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and I do believe the fourth Commonwealth is Kentucky. Tell me if I am wrong. I see a lot of nodding heads, and you know that's the direction of the heads I like to see. I am an incredibly insecure man, and I need validation all the time. Thank you. Am I right, Mary? You didn't miss that shit, did you?
I know you're very vulnerable tonight, Sean. Usually I have to encourage that. But now
Where's the
you're
line we draw between vulnerability and desperation?
where is it?
Ms. Franklin out on the West Coast has been patient. We're going to unmute her and spotlight her. And when she is ready, she will start.
I am ready. I am starting. My daughter, Malia, did something very special for the day after Thanksgiving. She got tickets for the Berkeley Botanical Garden. Now, she and her son, Kieran, they love plants. I love words, but I love them. So I would go along with them just to see their joy. However, Kieran was really wiped out from Thanksgiving. And after we had traversed up and down and back and forth and in and out among the shrubs, all these peregrinations, half an hour's worth, he said, I just have to sit down. Where did we sit? On these polished boulders on the edge of a magnificent small pond. And on the surface of that pond were these autumn leaves, arranged so artfully they could have been like fabric in a fine kimono. And as I sat there, I watched the leaves move almost imperceptibly with the pattern holding. It was the most magnificent thing I've ever seen. And in that moment, for the first time in my life, I realized I was fully in the present. This is a backdoor experience. Yes, we couldn't do our full 2 hours, but I got a place of calm and peace that has stayed with me and may stay with me, perhaps in and out for the rest of my life. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Neshama. Got a nice scarf on, I notice. Very nice.
Yeah.
We really talk about how people are dressed today, but people are dressed well. They look good.
They look good.
I would say by and large, and I don't know how you feel about this, Mary, this is an above average looking group of human beings. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
No, we're not here. This is not a modeling contest. It's some sort of runway slam. I mean, we're just doing story stuff, but one can't help but notice the quality of the looks here.
I mean, stunning group of people in so many ways.
That is not hyperbole.
No.
All right, our final storyteller on round one in the great stories. 44 humans are here. Thank you, everyone. Is Gerald, who I believe is down in North Carolina. Gerald, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Then I'm going to spotlight you. And whenever you are ready, take your time and break a leg.
I have a superpower. I can talk to anybody at any time with a conversation, and we just have a wonderful conversation. So that superpower came into use one day when I was riding the bus in California, and I met these two ladies. I found out that one was from Australia, the other one was from Colorado, and they'd been friends in a chat room, and they decided to meet in California because the lady from Colorado had never seen the beach, and the lady from Australia had never seen snow. So they decided to meet in California, go to the beach, and then hang out and party and have a good time. And then they would go to Colorado and they would hang out in the snow, which I thought was fantastic because that proved to me that there are actually good people in the world that love each other and you can be friends with somebody. And so we talked, and I've never seen them again and probably never will. But I know somewhere they had the most wonderful vacation that two people could ever have. Boom.
And Gerald closes out round one with, yeah, wow. That's 13 stories we just heard. Now, yeah, they're 99-ish seconds. Oh, but you can do a story in 99. That has been proven time and time again since, what was it, July or August of 2020?
2020, yeah.
When we started. One person went over, so she will not be in the poll, and you do not have to read her summary, and she's already saying goodbye. Her name is Torrey Shine, the first storyteller. Yeah, we got to play by the rules to keep it fair. She knows this as well as anyone. Very nice story, by the way. Very good. So what we're going to do, Mary, is just read the summaries for Andrew, Neshama, and Gerald, and then we'll do the same thing as we did. There's no more names to pick, but I'm going to milk it a little bit, and this will be a time after this, after the poll, to take a few minute break, and then we'll announce who's going to the second round. Are you ready, Mary?
I'm ready. Yeah.
I'm ready.
So Andrew, back in the 1980s, could not get his car out of the driveway to get to the bank, to get everything done for the weekend, and then found out he could have if he actually gone into work early. Neshama found some calm and peace and had time in the present at the Berkeley Botanical Gardens. And Gerald lived a vacation through Australia and Colorado to hear all about the snow and the sand from these two ladies on the bus.
All right, so they just heard the stories, they heard your summary, now they have the names and the one-word blurb here. I'm going to save it, and let's hope this baby works, and we're going to launch it. And then this would again be a good time after this to use the bathroom. Of course, you could be doing it during, get a drink, do whatever you got to do. Mary and I are going to have a little conversation about a few other things and make some announcements. But hang on, let me just launch this first.
Launch it. Come on.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. So this one, Andrew, Neshama, and Gerald. Here we go.
All right, there they go.
All right.
And
all right.
It's happening. It's happening.
Like it. Let's go. We got 45 people here. Me and Mary don't vote. So 43, 7 more can vote. Great job, y'all. What a nice, look, after taking a break for a while, because we used to do these fairly regular, it's nice to be back.
It is.
It's nice that all these people came to tell or listen, watch.
That we appreciate so much. I mean, we couldn't do this without folks to tell and to watch. So.
Yeah, I mean, and there might even be 1 or 2 people out there who are inspired by my fashion sense. I'm just saying it's possible.
Possible. Anything's possible.
I love your timing, Dalba. Thank you for that. Let's end this poll.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for keeping it real. Now, okay. It is now 7:58. At 8:03, I'm going to announce who's going through. There will be 60. Right. That means you can use this time however you want. Of course, you don't need my permission. However, while we are doing this, I'm going to give the opportunity to only the storytellers, there's 13.
Yep.
If they have something that need to keep it very tight here, a quick announcement of what's going on in their life related to story. It needs to be a very tight blurb. Just put your hand up in the little thing, the little thing, so I can see it, and then I'll unmute you. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. And the reactions, you can raise your hand at the bottom of your screen. Yes.
Thank you, Mary. This is why you get paid the big bucks.
I'm telling you.
Mark Modrall, no spotlight for you, Mark, this time, but you're unmuted. What do you have going on, sir?
Just quick, on December 19th, we're having a Moth Grand Slam in Boston. And this one I actually happen to be in. So,
You're going to be in it?
yeah, I'll be in it with Don and Matt and Julie, the usual.
Good luck, buddy. Julie's a producer. She can also be a teller.
Well, this is sort of one of those, she's not going to be the producer of this one,
Yeah.
but they're working off wins from 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know it's been a lag. Well, Mark, if I were there, I would clandestinely sneak in and make myself a judge and be very unfair and partial because I like you and your hair. Unfortunately, I don't have that option. I'm not there.
I don't know how they pick the judges for.
Oh, in the Grand Slams, it's different. It's not
it's not random in the audience. It's not, 3 random groups.
Oh, look at that.
Well, then I would just pay off the damn judges for you, but I can't. I'm sorry. And so I'll just say break a leg. We had Torrey and then we have Matt, and I'll look around a little more. Torrey, can you unmute? And then Jenice, yep. Torrey, we're going to skip Torrey for now. We're going to go to Matt and then Jenice and then Walt and come back to Torrey.
Cool. If anybody is in New York or is going to be in New York, I do a storytelling show at QED twice a month, first and third Saturdays. So if anybody's going to be in town or is around, send me a message and I'd love to have you on the show.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. And thanks, Mark. And also, Matt, Matt has a couple of people in the audience that we have mutual friends, and I've heard about this mic, and I heard it's very good.
Thank you.
And even one of the people said you're really nice. I'm not sold on that yet, but I want to believe.
I'll convince you by the end of this.
All right. I hope I'm going in the right order. We're going to have Jenice, then Walt, then Torrey, then Linda.
Hi, everybody. Just want to announce that I would be doing a storytelling workshop January 8th, Sunday, 2:00 Eastern time. And it's a special workshop. It's for how to tell stories of trauma without painlessly. So I will put the link in. And I also have a link to some of my stories that have been put on several podcasts about my own personal trauma. So I'll do that.
Put it in. Just remember, if you have interest in any of these links you see, copy them and paste them somewhere, because when the meeting's over, they disappear. Yep. They're probably somewhere in the interwebs, but good luck with that. Torrey, then Linda. No, Walt, Torrey, Linda. Sorry, you're going to get the chance to talk.
Okay, I'm working on the Florida State Festival, the Storytelling Festival in Florida. Comes up the last weekend in January. This year, we're adding a flyers contest. If you can come to Florida, Mount Dora, the last weekend in January, State Storytelling Festival. Love to have you.
We got a lot of stuff going on with this group of people. Torrey and then Linda.
Hi. So I'm about to do a show in New York City on Tuesday, the Pine Box Rock Shop, curated by Rana and Tracy. So I'm going to be doing a featured story there, and it's free, and there's an open mic segment. So if any of you are in the New York area, please do come out and hear my story and tell your own story. And also I'm going to be featuring at a improv festival, January 27th and 28th. I'll be writing mashed potatoes, which you'll hear one in a little bit throughout the day on Friday. That's in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So if you live anywhere near there, please check it out.
Thank you, Torrey. Yeah, we had up somebody who was going to lead us off this evening in not a competitive way. Sort of, what do we call that here? The
sacrificial.
Yeah, well, it kind of is that, but she couldn't make it. But we do have Torrey, who's going to mash it up. And if you don't know what that means, you're going to find out. That will be after round two. But before we announce the winners, because we are going to stretch that shit out as long as we can.
This is
I'm
what we
going to say
do.
that Rana and Tracy's event where Torrey will be telling, I told there, and it is a nice space with good humans. And Rana's nodding her head yes again, which makes me feel validated. Thank you, Rana. Where is Linda? Yes.
Linda.
Hey. This is old news, but last weekend I did Tamarack, West Virginia, which was just an awesome experience to be able to be in that. It's West Virginia's premier art and crafts center, and they have also entertainment, and they did Telebration, international storytelling. So that was fun. Next weekend, I auditioned, and I'm going to be in the Dickens Fair in a town near here, and I get to do my interpretation of the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Okay.
For a
Nice.
whole day on the streets and at the Fezziwig Ball. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be fun.
Awesome. Anybody else that thank you, Linda.
That's
You have
awesome.
been very active in doing all kinds of things. I know that.
Mhm.
I do not see any other hands. That just leaves me with one other person to ask, and then I'm going to wait a little bit to share some stuff I'm involved in that you might like to be a part of.
Yeah.
But that other person, of course, is Queen Mary Dalba. What are you up to that we might want to support, or we can?
Well, folks, I'm in grad school.
Oh,
Support and send love for that.
Story stuff is being shelved because you're in grad school for what?
Well, it's not shelved. It's just right now I need a minute. So I'm getting my grad degree in spirituality, and I'm hoping to be a lay chaplain or some sort of someone in the field of ministering. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm almost finished with my first semester, which I'm still a little like shocked at that I'm even in grad school, but yeah. So
Good for you. Mama proud? Mama
Mama's
proud?
she's very proud. She's very proud because it's also at a Catholic college, which was
Oh God,
not,
bless
it
your
was not
mother,
on
must be
purpose.
just so after some time we can't call you the queen. What are we going to call you?
Reverend.
Oh shit! Now it got real. She didn't.
No,
You
this
know
girl's got
she didn't-
queen.
there was no pause there. She made it very clear what her title will be moving forward. Obviously.
I like queen though. No, I like
I
queen.
do
This
too.
group is queen. This group is queen. So
All right.
yeah, so just send me love, guys. That's all I ask for.
It is being sent to you as always. I'm going to give you 6 names right now. I hope everybody's
All right.
back
All right.
because we are going to start round 2 in about a minute.
It's the Queen Reverend. Rona, yes.
But I'm going to say this because if you can hear my voice, but you're not in front of your computer, we don't want you voting on stories that you can't. Well, they might be able to hear them. That's true, but come back.
Come back.
Get settled. We got 6 more stories, and at the end of that, we'll have a winner. Season 7, slam number 1.
All right, Sean.
Yeah. All right. In
Oh,
no particular order, and this is not the order that you're necessarily telling. I'm going to say 6 names. For those of you that did not go through, thank you very much for being here. I loved you and your stories.
Mhm.
I don't love you all, actually. I like you, some of you, but whatever. That doesn't matter right now. My relationships and how I feel. Okay. But thank you for your stories. Please stick around and use the second story at another time because we will have more of these. Okay. Here are your 6 names in no order. Andrew, Shari, Walt, Erica, Michael, and Neshama. Congrats to you all. Okay. It's probably a few storytellers right there who have a little bit of a, I don't understand how I didn't go through. That was a good story. I get it.
I do too. I do too. But just come back next time. Bring your stories back. Stay for the rest of it.
And for the rest of it, vote, hang out, have a drink, do what you do. If you don't drink, don't drink though.
Don't
Obviously,
drink.
right? Am I right, Reverend? Am I right, Reverend?
Oh, you're right. What are you drinking tonight, Sean?
Nada.
Really? Not a thing?
I will get to something at some point, I'm sure.
I hope so. Gosh.
Here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to mix it up each time, and then I'm going to pick a name. They don't get to know in advance. So in a moment, I'm going to pick the first person's name, and they're going to know they're going to be up in round 2 in just a moment. And the same thing applies. If they go over, they can't qualify. Everything else is the same. At the end, we will have all the storytellers, and we will have a blurb, and we will have the poll, and then we'll have a winner. Is that cool?
I think it's wonderful.
I can't call you queen anymore. You have
the queen Reverend. Someone, was that you, Corey, who said that? Someone said the Queen Reverend. I love that.
All right. Well, if
Oh,
you want
Rana
to
said that. Rana. So I've had some suggestions. We're already there.
Yeah, I think you could put it in the chat, or if you want us to hang out after we're done, we do tend to hang out sometimes. That would be a good opportunity to learn all about and give Mary different nickname options. Queen, the Reverend isn't really a nickname. It's like you.
It's me.
You can't, you don't, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
here we go.
We'll figure it out. Let's get our folks going.
Yep.
They're fabulous.
Storytelling number 1, round 2, season 7, slam number 1 is going to be Shari. Shari, where are you? There you are, unmute, spotlight, and when you are ready, break a leg.
I'm still on the psych unit. Committed here for who knows how long. It's a Sunday. No regular staff. No activities. We are bored. So we start in on our graham cracker snacks. Then after a little while, a nurse comes over and locks the cabinet. You all have had your snacks for the day. Everybody starts screaming at her. I feel like slapping her across the face. Then I look over. One of my buddies is calling me over. And then he whispers, Shari, you want some graham crackers? Yes. How many do you want? I got about 30 packs back in my room. 3? You want any soda? I got about 10 big bottles back in my room. No thanks. Okay, I'll be right back. And then he disappears. And in a little bit, he comes back with my graham crackers. Now, don't go telling anybody, because I don't want everybody coming up to me asking for more. No, I promise. Well, what do you know? Contraband on the psych unit. These are the best graham crackers that I've ever had. Boom.
Boom it is, Shari Miller in North Carolina. Thank you. You are our first storyteller in round 2. Now, again, I'll just remind the audience you were very involved and you participated in the polls. We are going for what you believe are the best stories that are actually stories that are being told without notes. I think you know the how this works. We'll take care of the time stuff. You don't have to worry about that. But you, of course, get to decide what you think the best story is. There's no rubric. It's your choice, whatever works for you. That's how this goes.
That's your strategy. It's your voting, way. It's fun.
Yeah. If you want to write something down to remind yourself, there's going to be 5 more storytellers here, and then you're going to get the summaries, and we'll vote. All right, I'm mixing it up again. Shari was number 1, and number 2 is going to be Mr. Andrew Shelffo in Massachusetts. Great leg.
I'm talking to my new neighbor, and he's telling me how someone walked into his house and went into their kitchen and stole the jar of change they keep on their kitchen counter. And I'm surprised by this because I moved here a few months ago and I couldn't be happier. The neighbors are welcoming and friendly. I feel so safe. I haven't even felt the need to lock my doors. I'm concerned, my neighbor says. I know, because now you have to be worried that they're going to come back with a sock full of change and use it as a weapon. I grew up in New Jersey, a place that smells like garbage, where the residents explain where they live based on highway exit numbers. But at least we never have to pump our own gas. In elementary school, there was a kid who used to play in my neighborhood every once in a while, and then he stopped because his father blew up his house for the insurance money. And I went to high school with a girl whose father was killed by her uncle, and they left the body on the front lawn because it was some kind of a message thing. Low-level corruption is as ubiquitous as pizza in the Garden State. But now I'm in Western Massachusetts. It's a place named Happy Valley, where pot stores proliferate, and every December, 7,000 people, they run a 5K to raise money for a great cause. And last year they raised over $1 million. Do-gooders abound around here, but I'm suspicious of do-gooders. I'm naturally suspicious, or is it nurturally suspicious after growing up in New Jersey? I don't know, but all I know is my neighbor now locks his door. I don't want to ask him why.
Boom, I'll just say it for him. Yeah, you know what I mean? I knew it was over. Hey, Mary, everybody makes a choice. You know, sometimes you make a choice on how you're going to say boom, but you know what also was a choice? Not to say it.
Not to say it. And that's a message also.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Mhm.
Of course it is.
Of course.
We don't judge here outwardly. Outwardly,
No, outwardly. Right.
if we can. Let's not kid ourselves that we're
No.
judging all the time. I mean, you're going to ask people to judge in just a
Constantly.
moment.
Right.
And they take a poll. I mean, that's a judge.
Mm-hmm. That is a judge.
Somebody put in your royal highness or your
Yeah.
royal
Holiness.
reverend? Oh, wow.
I know. I mean, I just don't even know what to say. I just said I love you guys so much. Thank you.
That's a good segue. Our next storyteller, 3 of 6,
Yes.
is going to be Mr. Michael. Michael, let me find you. And then we will spotlight you. And if I had, there he is. All right, Mike, take your time. And when you are ready, we want to hear your second story.
Force of nature. That's how my mom is to be described. 4 weeks ago, we went out into public to run some errands, she and I, for the last time in public. We had 3 things to do. We had to go pick up the mail, go pick up cheese Danish at the bakery, and go to the bank for $4,000 cash to prepay for the cremation. So we went to the mail, we picked up the cheese Danish, and walked into the bank across the street to go get the cash. I said, "Hey, Mom, we can just get that cash out of the cash machine, I think." And she looks at me and says, "I don't do it that way." So we go up to the teller. She pulls out her check register and the check and writes the check for cash, $4,000, slides it to the teller. The teller puts it through the little machine and says, "Oh, Mrs. Lockhart, thank you for being such a long-time customer of Chase. But my system is telling me that this is an unusual amount of money for you to be pulling out of the bank. I have to ask you, what are you going to do with it?" I went, "You did not just ask a woman with a brain tumor this question." My mom looks up and says, "I'm going to spend it. And what I spend it on is none of yours or Chase Bank's fucking business." Boom.
Okay, bam. All right. Thank you, Michael. Out in the Pacific Northwest, I believe in the state of Washington.
Yes.
Yeah.
So far represented in this this is not a grand slam just yet, but
Not
in the
yet.
slam second round, we've got North Carolina, Massachusetts, and
Nice.
Washington. See, I'm depersonalizing this, but I think I'm kind of democratizing it. I feel like Corey May might appreciate my tone and my word choice there. I'm not sure. Okay, probably.
Corey's like, well,
Yeah, he's a tough one he's tough.
it's okay.
Let's continue. We've got 3 done, 3 more to go, and in about 10 minutes or so, maybe 12, we'll have a winner.
We'll have a winner.
Yeah, because what we're going to do is we're going to have all 6, and then we're going to run the poll, boom,
Yep.
and then I'm going to share a couple things that I've got going on if people want to know about it.
Okay.
And we've got our mashed up. People will know it. If you don't know what that is, I'll just leave it at that. Mashed potatoes, poet. And then we'll announce our winner. I'm just going to mix these up as I've done all evening. And our next storyteller is going to be Erica from Washington to California. Erica, let me spotlight you. You are ready when you're ready.
Okay. All right. It's the summer before college, and it's my first day on the job at the Philadelphia B101 radio station. They're rebranding their image from easy adult rock to harder rock sound. I'm handed my uniform, which is a bumblebee costume, a leotard bedazzled in gold and black sequins, a headband with glitter covered antenna, and a pair of fishnet stockings. I had brought, as instructed, my own black pumps, but I don't mind. All I dream about is being an actress on Broadway, and this is my first big acting break. My work assignment is to stop by assorted offices and hand out jars of honey advertising B101, and it goes smoothly. But by the end of the day, I'm like exhausted and my feet hurt, but I have to make it to my last stop. I'm greeted by this like exuberant, kind of sweaty little nervous guy. And he's like, oh, we weren't expecting a bumblebee. And I like laugh, and he shows me to a conference room, and he's like, just wait right here. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, wow, word must have spread about this like fabulous bumblebee going to businesses. He's like so excited. So then people start like milling into the room, and there's a bunch of people, and they're like, all right. And I'm like handing out my honey, and then they're like, what's happening? And I realized that they think I'm the stripper that someone had hired for one of the guys' birthday, my big break.
Thank you, Erica. All right.
Okay.
Very interesting stories this evening, leveling up all around. Round two, stakes are raised. Back at it, probably the last, not the last event, but the last slam of 2022. I don't want to be super cliche here, but I think as I get older, the years are moving a hell of a lot faster. Is this normal, or what the fuck is happening?
I think we're just losing our minds quicker as we get older.
Fair enough.
That's all.
All right. I might need a reverend in the near future. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I'll get the room next year. That'll be fine.
All right. Last two. I'm just mixing them up. Our next storyteller,
Right.
staying in the great state of California, is going to be Neshama. There she is. She's unmuted. Spotlight. Neshama, whenever you're ready, we are ready.
When I was growing up, I never learned how to cook. I mean, I spent a lot of time in the kitchen because the maids were easier to talk to than my parents. Must have gotten something by osmosis. But there I was at 19, married to a John. He had a big appetite and he wasn't very fussy. I mean, he knew how to broil a steak and bake a potato and steam broccoli. That was kind of it. So anything went. We had two little kids, and it was a little boring. So I decided that I would experiment with Julia Child's The French Chef, a huge doorstop of a book. I would cook just about everything in it. And I would put the kids in a double stroller and go to the market and look at the meat counter. And there I got the heart, the liver, the brains, the tripe, the sweetbreads. I cooked them, and my family ate them. They didn't know. And, with lashings of red wine, it was pretty palatable. I ran out of that kind of energy, and cooking got a lot simpler, but I could always scroll back to those days when, with two little kids stuck at home, we could be at Paris every night. Boom.
All right. Thank you, Neshama. Appreciate your story. Appreciate everyone's story. Queen Mary.
Yes, Sean.
We have almost done it again.
Isn't that amazing?
Have we not? Yeah, I like that. It's kind of cool.
It's amazing.
I'm grateful for everyone who's here. All the stories, of course, you. We probably have in our banks upwards of 500, maybe 600 stories at this point.
Oh my God.
You know how much money I can make if I just start selling them to Russia?
Do you think Russia wants to hear our story? This group, though, that Russia might.
Or maybe not Russia. That's the bad. That wasn't a good, but another country.
Right.
No? Serious. I'll retire on this stuff. I'll split it with you, man. We'll just. All right. I'm getting off again.
We're keeping our day jobs, are we, Sean?
What day job? Okay. We digress once.
Our day hobbies? I don't know.
I hope I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can't get into that.
Not right now. At the salon.
Where our final resting place this evening is going to be in the state of Florida.
Yes.
Where I happen to go to undergraduate, but that again is no one cares. Where are you, Walt?
Here we go.
There he is, puts his hand up, has his hat on as always, spotlighted. And when you are ready, Walt, break a leg.
Okay. Well, my father was kind of a notorious flirt. He just couldn't help himself. He turned on the charm whenever he saw a pretty woman. And my mother tolerated this. She said, well, he's like a dog chasing a car. He wouldn't know what to do with it if he caught it. And we were on a vacation trip from South Carolina down to Hollywood, Florida. Back in 1960, there was no interstates and no fast food places. And the first place we stop is on the old Dixie Highway, just south of Athens, Georgia. We go to Rosie's truck stop, deer processing, laundromat, general store, and hardware. And then there's a diner in there. And so we go in to eat hamburgers for like 25 cents. And our waitress comes over and she's a very attractive woman. And she's got Lenora on a name tag. And my father gets all excited. His eyes light up and he said, he's going to show off. He says, Lenora, are you from Athens, Georgia? She said, yes, sir, I'm from Athens, Georgia. He said, have you ever heard of Athens, Greece? She stops for a moment and thinks, no, we buy our grease from Buddy's farm down the road. We get it as lard. My mother didn't stop laughing until we got to Valdosta. And after that, whenever my father got too big for his britches, she could bring him down with 2 words, Athens, Greece. Boom.
And boom it is. Boom closes it down. Mary, to our tellers, to the 42 people or 41. One keeps coming in and out. There might be a ghost here. I don't know. I feel
Possibly.
like you know a little bit more about that than I do, Mary. I don't know.
A little bit.
So here's what we're gonna do. Nobody went over.
Yay!
So we got 6 names. Mary's gonna do the blurbs. I've got an announcement. We've got something that is going to be shared from Ms. Torrey Shine, and then you will know the winner of season 7, slam number 1. Mary, just give me one moment. Let me get my poll open. I've got the names, but I'm looking for my one word. So when you're ready, do your thing.
Okay. So Shari got some contraband graham crackers and a psych unit. Andrew was worried about someone who stole a sock full, stole something that was full of change and may come back with the sock. I mean, you know, the western part of Massachusetts is not as safe as New Jersey anymore, I guess. Michael describes his mother as a force of nature, and she's going to spend her money any way she damn well pleases. Erica was this amazing bumblebee, not a stripper. Thank you very much, B101. Neshama never learned to cook, but somehow got it through osmosis and made all kinds of wonderful things with Julia Child's cookbook. And Paris could be every night for a while. And Walt, Athens, Greece, brought Walt's dad down 2 size.
All right, this time I'm but 2 words for each. How's that?
I mean, we're in the end of, you know, our judging, so we might as well go up to 2 words. You know what I mean?
So here's what we're gonna do.
All right,
Shari and Andrew and Michael and
Erica
and Neshama and Walt, and everybody's eligible, and I hope everybody votes. And then we'll milk it a little bit and do some fun stuff and then announce the winner. But I want you to vote now because it's top of mind. So I'm going to launch this and hopefully 40 people, all of you vote because someone's going to win. Here we go.
Got to have a winner, y'all. There we go.
There we go. There we go. It took a second to get going.
Right? We had this little pause that happened.
This is gonna be a close race.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know, very interesting. I hope everyone votes.
Yeah, I mean, it's because the stories, all of them are so good.
Always.
Yeah.
All right, we got 8 more people, 6 more people, and we'll leave it open for another 20, 30 seconds.
Because people can vote.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to, just one more time? This is your warning. Finish up. Finish up your voting. Van Gogh's Sailor Man.
Yeah, Van Gogh is calling it. Y'all.
Some people say Van Gogh. I don't, you know, it's just, that's a choice.
It's
like
a choice.
Said, sometimes no choice is a choice, man. All right, Mary, I think we can officially end this poll, which I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And Awesome. Quick announcements from me. I don't want to take a
Yeah.
long time because then we're going to get to Torrey Shine and her mashed upness. Just want to let everyone know, in 2 weeks, there's a mental health happy hour, which is a virtual open mic. We've been doing it for more than 2 years now. So whether you want to tell a story or come support others and hear stories, I hope you can come. It's 2 Sundays from today. I put it in the email and on Facebook. If you want to know more, message me. And the other thing I wanted to just say is a couple of weeks ago, or a little more than that, came down here to Mexico, Pátzcuaro, Michoacán, met Carolyn here, where she lives here, and Rana Levy, some of you know her. And we told a story in front of about 20 friends, which was absolutely lovely. Rana told, Carolyn told, and I told, and 4 or 5 others just got up and told. On the second floor of this nice home, on this little street, in Pátzcuaro, Michoacán, which is a province or a state, a estado, in Mexico. It was pretty, as the kids might say, it was pretty dope. Now, what happened after that got even more interesting. It was we had the plans. We didn't know exactly. We ended up having, including Carolyn, 7 other people who were like, let's do a workshop type thing. And I led it. So here we are in Mexico, and we met like 5 times, and all of them were new storytellers. By the way, some of them are here right now, which is very cool.
Awesome.
And we worked on the stories. And then last night in the back of an Argentinian restaurant with about 25 or so people, no mic, which is challenging.
It is.
We hung out, we told stories. Carolyn started, I ended. The other 6 were in between. They were phenomenal. It was a great evening. Everyone there was, and I know you might be thinking, why are you sharing this, Sean? Because I just like to talk. I told you that at the beginning.
It's a great story.
And then we had some good food and drinks. It's like, oh, this is cool. And I've got to tell you, storytellers, some of you are here, and I know you're all new to this, very accomplished in other areas of life, but really, really nice. Really well done.
Nice.
So kudos to you all. And I think Carolyn's here, and she knows I need valid. Yep, she's doing that.
Yeah.
Makes Sean feel good.
It's amazing.
All right. So without further ado, we're not just letting you know who won yet. We are going to introduce to the stage and spotlight her, Torrey Shine. And I believe, Torrey, if you need a minute, that's cool. You could let me know in the chat or on Messenger. I sent Torrey something, and she just may be able to work in that something into what she's about to do. So she's not only going to present what she does, which is a sort of mash up hybrid form of live lit or performance, but she might have an announcement that might be of particular interest to 6 people who are waiting patiently. I don't know. Torrey, can I ask you to unmute, or am I rushing you a little bit? I feel
Sorry,
like
I need another minute. Sorry, I was
all right. Yeah. No rush. But I'm going to assume that you got my message and you know what to put at the end of whatever it is, whether it's in the story or not, but not just yet. And the other thing I want to say, because you all know that I'm involved with some other things, a little plug. I've got a podcast that many of you know about. I'm very proud of it. It's called Suicide Noted. I talk with suicide attempt survivors. We've been going for over 2 years. The episodes come out Monday, and I'm sharing that with you. Of course, I want you to listen to it. It's not for everybody. But if it applies to you or somebody that you know who might want to have a conversation about that, then let me know. I can't really backtrack now. I was about to say, believe it or not, I can get pretty serious and not be such a wacko, but it's too late for that. I showed what I showed, and you just got to trust me that I know what I'm doing. But hey, we'll see what they do. You know,
as Nick said in the chat, it's a great podcast, Sean. So
thank you, Nick. And you know what? If that's of interest, you're curious, just listen to it and you'll know if it's your vibe. That's the best way. So anyway, suicide, you know how to spell that probably. Noted, N-O-T-E-D.
Noted. Yeah.
When Torrey's ready, she will let us know by unmuting or making some symbol. I don't want to rush her because what she does is almost, you could say magical.
It's magical. I would agree.
The way she puts ideas and words together. Thanks, Mark. If there's anybody else here, whether you are a storyteller or not, who can give us a very quick plug. If it's story related, teaching a class, producing a show, whatever it may be, put your hand up, that little hand icon, and we'll get you in before Torrey closes it out.
Yeah.
And you know what? I started at 7:12 officially so 90 minutes. We're pretty on. Yeah,
we're doing pretty good.
I got the memo from those earlier slams. They're like, dude, move it along, bro.
Hey, Nick's got his hand up.
All right, Nick, unmute. Let us know what's up.
Hey, everybody. I know I've been gone, busy doing other stuff other than storytelling, but two things I thought of is one, better said than done. They have shows coming up in January. Actually, we have shows coming up every month. I know we have some slots open for people who want to tell, I think virtually and in person starting in January. So if you go to the Better Said Than Done website, you can go there and you can sign up and pitch, and we'd love to have you. And the other thing is, if you happen to know any people who are military, whether they're retired or they are military dependent or they work on a military base, I'm one of the instructors at the Armed Services Arts Partnership, ASAP. And so we teach performing arts to all people in those backgrounds in all these performing arts. So storytelling is the classes that I help teach, but we also do comedy, improv, acting, writing, a whole host of stuff that goes along there. So they can go there and they can get classes that would normally cost them between $300 to $600 for free. So
Wow.
If you know them, if there's anyone who's connected to the military some sort of way, go to asap.org. And they can look at the classes that we have there. We have them online, but we also have them in places in DC, Virginia, Annapolis, and I think San Diego now.
Wow. All right. Awesome, bro. And it's good to see you back. Fantastic. If you need somebody who's not funny and knows very little about stand-up, I'd love to support you by teaching that class. See what I just did there, though, by getting you to laugh? Oh, come on, next level. All right, Torrey's ready. And by the way, or almost ready. And tellers, the 6 of you who are in the second round, listen closely to what Torrey's about to say, because there might just be a little nugget in there that applies to one of you. Torrey, I'm going to spotlight you. Is that cool? All right. She's like, dude, give me a little bit of time. She's going to do great.
Okay, here he goes.
Waiting is totally allowed here. Duh.
Sorry. Okay. I'll wing it. Okay. So throughout the show, I've been taking notes on all of your stories and writing down memorable lines and characters and moments and trying to create a collective story that we all wrote together. And I haven't actually read it all the way through, so hopefully, anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. I call it The Mashed Potato. Season 7, episode 1. My family, they raised me in a mansion of books. There must have been 10,000 or more. They lined up the yards, they filled all the shelves, they went all the way from the floor to the door. But me, I didn't like books, I liked cowboys. With their brown uniforms, their hair all slick and moosey. Come on, don't judge me. This was the 1970s. Everyone was a little bit loosey. I moved to the Western frontier. Though to be honest, it was kind of a bummer. I would have much rather preferred to snowbird in the Colorado winters and beach in the California summers. But I had a dream, and it wasn't about books. I wanted to live real life adventure and to create my own story. I wanted to find that cowboy crush and to create my own special kind of glory. And that's where I met Mark. He had a great set of hair. He looked a little bit like Vincent van Gogh. And just looking at his face, I'd forget all about the time. Like my whole life, it was just ahead of me to show. And I chased that man all over the desert. But he ran away. He became a sailor. I tried to find any way onto that boat, but my applications, they were a failure. I was sad. I ate tons of starch, mashed potatoes. My body, it got more and more curvy. And even though I'd been denied access to the semester at sea, somehow I still got scurvy. Now I'd lost my cowboy and I'd lost my figure. I started to thrash and shout. I mean, look, usually I'm a really nice person, but in that moment, the bitch came out. The neighborhood sheriff, he tried to take me down. He's throwing rocks and I dodged in shame. That man, he sure did have a strong arm, but thankfully he had no aim. and I was close to hitting a rock bottom of my own. I mean, you can't change until you're really ready. And then along came Dr. K, and he said, I'm here to help. And, he just made me instantly feel steady. I think maybe I was just hungry for fruit. I needed food, even more than I needed to be sedated. And Dr. K, he didn't give me morphine. He gave me the next best thing, a cheese Danish. The bad cop thought I should be disqualified and judged, but the good shot cop said that I could move on. And I realized it was time to break up with my doctor, because I was finally healthy enough to be steady on my own. I turned on all the lights, and then I saw Champ, a horse with golden brown hair, a horse with hair golden brown. And even though neither of us knew the way out, we had forward momentum all the way down. I realized in that moment that my love for cowboys, it was just a love for wanting to feel free. And in that feeling, that's where the whole universe is. That's where I can be free to just be me. Some people think that maybe that means I won, but really, aren't we all the winner? But really, the truth is, Michael is the one who won. And the rest of us, we're just sinners. Boom.
Just happened. Torrey had like 11 seconds to mash it up and announce the winner, which I sent to her like 3 seconds before she went on. Michael, spotlighting you. Awkward moment.
God.
How do you feel, sir? You won the whole damn slam.
Oh, moms are great, and I am missing my mom terribly. And I was just going to ask you, Torrey, write that down. I want it. You have to write that and send that through Sean to
And
us.
it's recorded, so
That's true. I can do that. Yes, there is technology. Oh, that was beautiful. That was really beautiful. I am touched, and I hadn't been here for a little while, and all this stuff has been going on, and I have to tell you, it's been kind of a kismet. I call it Kismet month. So I appreciate folks, and just to hear from folks all over the country or all over other multiple countries. It's been really, really a gift.
Awesome. Michael, congratulations, Michael.
Thanks.
I really appreciate it. I know it's been a rough go for sure.
Michael, thank you very much.
Yeah, we invite all the storytellers who are telling stories at the Slam to come to a Friday feedback kind of thing. If they register by then, and some of them take us up on it. And Michael was one of them. And I had a feeling, I heard those stories, the way they were crafted and the heart behind it, and we kept using the word kismet. I don't know how to pronounce that word very well. I thought, this guy's got a chance. And it worked out. But great job to all the storytellers.
Great job, everybody.
All the 12 tellers and the 40 or 35 or whatever number it is who came out to support. And of course, Queen Mary and Torrey with that very cool mashup. So everybody's wonderful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording and stop the Facebook Live and officially end this. And if you want to hang out and talk, sometimes we do that. Any number of things can come up. But if you want to skedaddle, that would be an okay time too. But thanks again, everyone. And I will see and talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.